good, Dollyverse? This is Gypsy. You're watching Broken Dolly TV. And I must say, 2021 is really coming in with a bang for me. I have been very fortunate this year to acquire not one, but both of my Grail Ken dolls, which is this Japan Ken here in the front with the blue jacket, and my Jonny Depp way back there standing next to these dolls. I'm very fortunate also that I was able to acquire the full set of the Barbie look dolls that I was talking about in my doll event video before these guys got released. So if you haven't, go and actually watch that video so you can see some of the predictions that I made about these dolls and how many of my predictions were correct and which ones weren't. So I have these dolls set side by side, still in the box, just to give you guys who are new in the box type collectors an idea of how much space they will take up all next to each other, still in their boxes, if you like to display them that way. Okay, so it only took me 300 years to get all of the dolls out of the boxes to line them up next to each other on their stands. And as I predicted, they do look very good all next to each other. They look like they go together. They look like they know each other. Alright, I do recommend getting all 6 of them to display together on your shelves, on your dioramas. We're going to get into a detailed review of each doll separately in other videos that are coming up. But I just wanted to show you guys all of them, my first initial reaction to these guys, and what you expect if you are ordering all of them when you finally get the entire crew together, what they're going to be looking like. So they're supposed to be marketed as models. Honestly, when I look at them, they remind me of a combination of, like Adonis said, they look like they could be a mercenary group if they just had some weapons. Maybe like spies or something. If you guys have ever seen the show, maybe the early 2000s, Jessica Alba starred in the series called Dark Angel, which I never watched when it was on the air. But my favorite uncle happened to have all two whole whopping seasons of the show. But it didn't get canceled because it was a bad show. I think it got canceled because it was too real. Jessica Alba's character, she was like a super soldier, like a government-made secret clone person who from childhood was raised to be a super soldier, and they basically cloned part of her DNA from animals so that all the kids that were born in these test tubes basically had like a mixture of animal DNA that would allow them to have these like crazy powers that regular humans can't have. All of the characters that were supposed to be like her batch of clones that she was trained with and born with, she basically treated those characters as if they were her brothers and sisters. And all of the characters looked like they were a mixture of different races. They were sometimes racially ambiguous. And they were all good looking. And then when they like broke out of this facility and ran out into the real world, everybody dispersed and basically took on regular people personas so that they could stay under the radar and just go live a normal life. So I thought that show was really interesting, and it's like one of those shows that I would like binge watch from time to time, the whole 2 seasons straight, because I love the storyline and all the characters, and that's what these dolls remind me of. If those characters were turned into Barbie dolls, they might look something like this. Okay, so as you can see, the tallest Barbie is this one. And I already named all my dolls. I already gave them all an ethnicity. So this one, I named her Neige Jolie, and she's supposed to be from Belgium. Also, she's wearing high heels. She's as tall as the boys on her stand. This one, I put them in order for you guys too, so you can see which one's which. Model number 1 there on the end, and then number 6 over here on the end. So this guy's number 5, and I named him Ozan Yilmaz. He's supposed to be from Turkey. And I have a couple of female dolls that I made into Muslim characters. And I thought, well, we don't have any boy Muslims. So I thought maybe I would make him one. This guy, number 4, he is very chocolatey. And shout out to my homegirl, Bratney, who actually sent me this guy, and she predicted that he was going to be the same skin tone as him, so she sent him to me in preparation for these dolls dropping, because she was like, you could totally articulate him if you get one of those brown dolls. And she's right, because they are exactly the same skin tone. So that's what's up. This guy, I named him Iro Freed, and he's gonna be from Barbados. So that's my island boy. This little one, I actually have an extra one of her because I ordered her on Amazon initially when they first became available on Amazon, and she actually did come on time, so I've been had her for like a while now, and I just didn't open her from the box because I felt like she gonna be so lonely without her friends. It just doesn't feel right, so I had to wait until I got these guys to open her up. But of course, she's on the petite body, so she's the shortest of all of the girls, and I decided to make her an Inuit girl from Greenland, and she is going to be called Yura Sakuri. And isn't it funny though, because I rarely give my dolls like last names, but I don't know, this set just felt like it needed to have a complete realistic human story behind all of them, so I just couldn't resist it. So this pretty girl, she is like everybody's favorite, I think, of the girls. I really think so. So many people are just in awe of her face. Like, her face up is immaculate, and I think she's the one that has the most makeup on her face too compared to the other dolls. A very high shine to her lips, her eyeliner and eyeshadow. There's a lot of like bronzy metallic kind of a color going on. Shimmery in person, but on camera it's a little bit difficult to pick up the shimmer right here above her eyelid. I don't know. I'm gonna try and see if I can get the shot in such a way that it's easier to see, but in person you can see it. And her lips are just so juicy. Sometimes it kind of looks like they might actually be parted, but in person when you look at the doll, there's not really enough space between the two lips to consider that actually open. It is a closed mouth. All of these dolls have closed mouths. This doll, when you take her out of the box, initially she does not have the part already separated in her hair. See how it just looks like one big giant poof? Yeah, so this is something I had to do myself. I had to manually go in with a comb and look for her parts, which is right there. And this doll actually has more like length in her afro than the one that I have in the box back there. So that's another thing about the dolls, especially the dolls that have afros. Like, some of them have bigger ones, some of them have smaller ones. I think she looks so much like a real person. Her face up is just, I think it's just immaculate. Her sculpt itself is really good. This doll, I named her Hawa Z, and her character I'm gonna have be from Cote d'Ivoire in honor of one of my girlfriends, one of my very close friends from high school, Roxanne, who some of you guys probably, some of you guys probably remember Roxy when she came over to visit us when we were in Carolina, and she stayed with us a few months. And she's lots of fun. This one here, she is model number 1. For my collection, I decided to make her from Saipan, but I wanted her to be Chamorro because there's a lot of Chamorro people that live in this area of Washington where we live, and that I have worked with, and like friends of mine, and I love them. They're such friendly, open people. I thought I would make her a Chamorro girl who is originally from Saipan, a little island that's owned by the United States, but it's very unheard of. Like, a lot of people don't even know about Saipan. Y'all should look it up. It's like a really cute little island nation, considered part of the Americas, so you can go visit there for like vacations, like Hawaii kind of, without needing a passport or something like that. I decided to name her Ai Samai, and she is really gorgeous. This is the one that I said reminds me of like a grown-up Skipper, and she still does in person as well, and she has a tan skin tone. So that is exciting. We're gonna try and compare her to some other dolls. All right, so some of the things that you need to know about these dolls when you're taking them out of the package. They do come with COAs, which at first I was like, why? Because they're $20 dolls at retail. They don't seem like they would be special enough to have COAs. But when I was looking at the COA, it did state that it was a black label release, which I didn't realize, and there's nothing on the boxes that say that, so I'm surprised that they're considered black label. And for those of you who are like, what the heck is a black label? The black label dolls they're made specifically with adult collectors in mind, so they're not really even meant for children, and they also are not in limited quotas. So usually a black label collector doll will be something that they make upwards of 35,000 pieces per item. So there's plenty to go around. There's another reason why I'm trying to tell y'all that are very tempted to buy these dolls on eBay for exorbitant prices, please wait. Wait. These are not limited edition dolls. They should be producing and restocking more of them if they haven't reached 35,000 items in sales yet, which I don't think that they have. So be patient and just keep looking at the different sites that normally carry these kinds of dolls. They should be popping up in the next few weeks, maybe a couple of months, depending on how things go. But you know, this year has been kind of crazy and everything is kind of pushed back. Things aren't happening at the rate with which we would like for them to happen. And of course, they like to use the virus as the excuse for why everything gets slowed down. Less manpower at the jobs, less people working in the factories, less people working on the delivery routes. You know, it is what it is. So that's just the time that we're in right now, and we have to just be patient. So keep that in mind. They're Black Label dolls. 35,000 pieces or more usually is what's produced in these lines, okay? When you take them out of the box, you're gonna run into a couple of dolls having their heads tacked down to the plastic in the box with those stupid plastic tabs, so you're gonna have to pull those off. Not all of them have it, but some of them do, and some of them have string holding down their hair to the box. So I suggest, if you want to do it the fastest way, is to have a pair of scissors with you so you can cut things out of the box and not be fighting with the doll trying to get her out and possibly damage the dolls. That's just something I noticed about all of them. They all came with stands. All the girls have like the small round stands, the boys have the big round stands. Not a big fan of these stands. I think they're kind of weak, especially the parts that go around the waist. Just remember, you should not be forcing your dolls into these stands because the plastic piece here can just snap. You should really be putting them in like from the side, like this. Turn the doll to the side, put them in, and then move them when they're already inside the little brackets. And then usually they won't break, but because they're so fragile, sometimes even when you're careful, they could still break. But when that happens, the good news is, even if they break, you can still use the stand. Watch me just break one while I'm talking, right? Let's say that this piece broke and you got to take it off, right? Now you just have this piece left, and people will probably be like, oh, it's broken, it's useless. No, it's not. You can just stick the shirt of the doll into the back, and then he's basically like leaning up against the back stick part. But it works, and it also looks very seamless this way because you don't see those brackets hugging the sides anyway. And when the doll's on the stand, if you look at him from the back, yes, you're going to be able to see that stick. But it doesn't matter because nobody's going to be looking at your doll from the back anyway. So you don't have to worry about that. So you can actually purposefully remove those sticks if you have dolls that are wearing skirts, jackets, shirts that are not tucked in, so that you can slide them up into the back part of the doll's clothing. It would not work for a doll like the number 2 over here because she's got a whole bodysuit on and you would not have no place to slip that in. But if she was wearing something else, then you'd be able to do it. The back of her outfit, this part here is actually tacked down with double stick tape. So if you decide to remove it, don't freak out when you see this tape back here. It's supposed to be there just so that this will lay down flat and neat, but it's removable. You're not going to damage your doll if you just scrape this thing off, and you can take it off and she's like brand new. All right, let's talk about head sculpts, you guys. Everybody knows that these dolls have brand new head sculpts, and although most of them are exclusive to this line, this one I think is not exclusive to this line. I've seen this head sculpt used on a different doll. It was a different skin tone and had different hairstyle, of course, but it is the same face. So that one's not 100% totally exclusive to this line, but it is still a brand new head sculpt. Let's talk about these sculpts. So this guy here, who I'm calling Iro, he is called John. And the sculpt names can be found right on Mattel's website, y'all. Just go to the listings, and inside the listings, they give you all the specs for the doll, their, dimensions, their hair color, all that stuff, the eye color, and the body types. And they also tell you the facial sculpts. And this guy here is being called Sean. I know these are some real ordinary names, y'all, but it is what it is. This sculpt here, we are calling this one Victoria, according to Mattel. This little lady is being called Kit. Senorita here is being called Elle. Oops. Oh no! This one is being called Lena. So now we know all of their facial sculpt names, so we can identify them a lot better than saying model number 3, model number 7, model number 1, model number 100. Who knows how long this line will go? I hope it goes on for years, but like the fashionistas, you know, it can get overwhelming after like the 100th release of a doll, and you're like, which one is which, you know? So I'm glad that they finally did come up with some names for these guys' head sculpts, so we can identify them a lot faster. This lady here, the skin tones do also have names too, like the names of the shades of the skin tones, but guys, I already have so much stuff that I have to memorize that I don't feel like I want to bother calling the skin tones by their actual names. So I'm just gonna default to the made to move dolls that I normally reference when I'm talking about skin tones for y'all, okay? But anyway, these two are the same skin tone, and this is originally the purple top made to move doll had the skin tone first, and that's who you would be referencing, trying to figure out who these dolls match, okay? And they both happen to be tall too. So this BMR doll was initially the first tall doll with the skin tone, but now we have this one too. There you have it, if you had missed out on the BMR tall Barbie. This guy, thank goodness, is the regular skin tone for Ken, just the default Ken Caucasian skin color. So these are my other boys that have the same skin tone as him, which I am so excited about swapping them onto because they are dying for some made to move joints. I really need this body for my boys, and that's the part of the reason why I wanted this doll. His face is still very handsome. He has a very intense sculpt, like it's very angular. When you look at the sculpt here close up, bro, like he's got dips and dents all over his vinyl, just very strong bone structure. And I think that that is pretty interesting. Little strokes in his beard as well, which is not very normal. You don't see that a lot with the dolls that have facial hair, if they even bother to do it. They usually just make it like a solid paint job. But you can see in these more collectible dolls that I have here that they did try to use little brush strokes on these guys to give them a little more detail. So I think that's what they did with him, and all of these dolls, at least to me and Adonis, they really feel like Barbie's version of a custom one-of-a-kind repaint doll. Like if they were going to give you their own version, that's how these guys would have been painted, sort of. That's what they remind me of. And just a very subtle and simple strokes in the face, and the small features, they're not really exaggerated. They look more in proportion to an actual human's face. Like look how big the eyes are usually on like the fashionistas dolls and such. You know, they're so exaggerated, and these dolls just don't come off that way. They just seem more natural. Like, no, you're not seeing things. His lips are actually rimmed with a different color. It's not supposed to be lipstick, you guys. I know that because we had the BMR guy with makeup on his face that it could be mistaken as some kind of like makeup, but no, this is not supposed to be makeup. This is supposed to mimic actual black men whose coloring is such that sometimes their lips look like this. They look like there's a different, you know, contour color around the lips. I don't know how to explain it, but just go look at some pictures of real life black men with dark skin tones and you'll see what I'm talking about. Their lips just have a naturally different tone to the skin. So this doll here, she is the one that I had predicted in my Dolly Events video about her, that she might be like a pink kind of a skin tone. And here is my other doll that has a similar skin tone, like a pink kind of a color. And the two of them next to each other, and this is the closest match that I have seen thus far in a made to move doll that could possibly be a donor for the dolls that matched this Midge doll's skin color. This doll is from the Life in the Dream House series, and remember, she was really pink. So they seem like they could get away with each other's bodies. I'm just looking at them in natural lighting right now, and to me they look very similar. So that's just my opinion. My eyes could be playing some tricks on me, you guys, but she's clearly a different color from the made to move purple top tone, like LA Girl fashionistas. These two are not the same skin tone, even though when they're separated, they look very similar, very close in skin shade, but No, they're not. I hope you can see the difference, you guys. But yeah, she's definitely like white, and then she's like pink. I think she's supposed to match a yellow top doll. Okay, you be the judge. What do you think? Right here, Genesis is on her original made to move body. This is a very widely used body donor for a lot of the medium brown skin tones for our dolls. This one is the first ever curvy Barbie doll that was produced, designed by Carlisle New Era, and she is the same skin tone basically as yellow top. Yeah, so to me, when I put them all side by side, definitely this doll could get away, like Enid on the end here, she can get away with the same body as the Barbie Looks doll. I think so. And Genesis over here looks extremely close. I feel like the naked eye can detect a slight, almost like a greenish tint in her body that is not as red as these guys are. But it could also be the lighting. It could also be the colors that she's wearing that's making that tone come out more. I think they all look very similar in tone and can get away with each other's bodies if you wanted to do a swap. She's close in complexion to these dolls. She's more of a match to this doll here, who's on a tall basketball player's made to move body. This one's on an orange top body right here. It's so close. I feel like you could get away with it. They might all be the same color, but I think that the basketball player doll's tone was slightly lighter than orange top, just like a smidge. Very, 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 very difficult to tell the difference when you put them all next to each other. For real, you guys. It looks so similar. I think they could get away with it. And you might be thinking, why would I body swap these dolls that already come with made to move articulation? Well, you don't need to, but sometimes you want to see, for example, you might want to see what she looks like on a curvy body. You might want to try that out. Or you might decide you want to put this doll on a shorter body. Because now we have the added feature of the different height levels and body types, you can totally get creative and further customize your doll. He also had hella gel in his hair, so I had to wash that out. Be very careful when you are washing out doll hairs that have flocking around it, because sometimes, depending on how hot or cold your water is, whether you're using soaps or any kind of like detergents, that can loosen up the adhesive that is keeping the flocking attached to the scalp, and it could come right off. Sometimes it only comes off if you use acetone, so it really just depends on the doll you have, but you don't want to accidentally find out. I redressed all of the dolls and they are wearing each other's outfits. I also pierced all the girls' ears because I thought they would look better with earrings. We'll have to do some further experiments to find out if the outfits work for each other's body types. Further, for example, how would this dress look on her or on her? Would it be too loose, too long? Who knows? And how would the petite doll's outfit that she's rocking here on the end, how would that look on any of the other dolls? Like the tall doll, would it fit her? I don't quite know because we haven't gone that far into this experiment. This is where we are so far. I'm happy with the results. Now I am gonna go further and of course change them into other outfits that I already have in my dolls' wardrobes. I have to be very picky about the stuff that I want to put these dolls in, especially if they're not going to be displayed all together, because guys, I'm sorry, when I see any of the other Barbie dolls next to these dolls, unless they are like kind of like, you know, high end or like collector type dolls, just, you know, see like the face ups, this doll blends a little bit better with these guys. But this doll, to me, they just look like caricatures of people next to these dolls. They don't even look believable. Like, they just look like mannequins standing next to real people. That's how it feels to me. Like, just how exaggerated all the features are on the usual Barbies that we see. So this is gonna be tricky for me, being like kind of nitpicky about certain things, how I'm gonna end up displaying these dolls, because it's gonna be so annoying when I see them like next to other dolls that look like cartoon characters compared to them. But I'm the most impressed, I think, with this one. Just her face up, y'all. They really went in with this one. Like, they put a lot of work into styling the sculpt and making her look believable. I'm so impressed. I really thought when I was doing my doll events video and looking at the pictures, I thought she was gonna end up being my favorite, because she was really pretty. But next to her, I mean, y'all, just the detail and the artistry. As a fan of art, I just appreciate the work that was put into this sculpt. It's amazing. Such a good job. I'm also very impressed with these boys. It's a shame we don't have more guy dolls that could use him as a body donor, which I hope is going to change in the future. But at least for the time being, I'm enjoying this deep dark chocolatey color he has. You see what I'm talking about? Like, if I put him into an outfit that had more colors than this, it would just look like he was going to the carnival, like not to visit, but to be in the carnival. Like, it would just look crazy on him, I feel like. You know, I just love the simplicity and the basic look that these guys came with. She surprised me the most because I thought she was like the most bland out of all of these dolls. To me, there was really not anything about this doll that stands out, that seems like a must-have, that seems like she's like better than any of the other dolls. I really felt like you gotta just have her because she's part of the group. At first, is how I felt. But after redressing her and restyling her hair, I no longer feel that way. I'm actually very impressed with the shape of her hairline. I think it's actually really pretty. And I don't know why they covered up her forehead with the original hairstyle that they gave to her, but the shape of her head is really pretty. The hairline is pretty. I'm very excited to see what she's going to be looking like after I do some more sprucing and customizing. So much stuff I want to do with this line. Come hang out here with us. And I know a lot of you guys are waiting for your dolls to come. It's painstaking, anxiety inducing. I totally get it. It definitely must-haves, but still, I cannot justify y'all spending $50, $60, $80 on each doll. If you live in the United States and you have access to Amazon, Mattel's website, and Target and Walmart's websites to order things from, I just can't justify it, you guys. I cannot recommend that for you guys. I really think these dolls are going to be in circulation like normal after the hype dies down. You know, Mattel is still marketing this product, and they're doing it in a really subtle way so it doesn't seem like they are, but it helps that a lot of us influencers, we have a direct connection with you adult collectors, and we're kind of doing their marketing job for them, not even meaning to. I mean, it's just the way that it is. Don't think for a second that this big, huge company that's been around for God knows how many years doesn't realize the value of having us influencers literally hyping up their stuff for them for free. Come on. Like, those of you guys who watch the big channels like Froggy, go check out their channels. You don't see none of those guys with brand new in-box samples of these dolls given to them by Mattel, because you know why? Because they don't have to. That's why. Mattel does not have to give nobody these dolls for free because they already planned this marketing strategy. That's how we do things here in America. It's a capitalist country that we've been doing this for years. Ain't nothing new. Y'all gonna really feel crazy later on down the line if you don't take seriously some of these more experienced collectors and influencers trying to give you guys the heads up about how things work. Do not waste your money if you don't have to. And those ones that are up there for sale, guys, in a month, in 2 months, when these dolls are circulating, you think those sellers are gonna be gone? No, they're not. They're gonna be there. Them dolls for $100 a pop are not going no place. So you're not missing anything because you don't waste your money on them right now. If you have to spend $100 a pop on these dolls anyway, trust me, in 2 months they'll still be there. I'd rather be safe than sorry. You understand what I'm saying? Good luck to everybody who is hunting for these dolls. Soon as I find out if there's any other sites that have them live, like Amazon or Target or Walmart, where you can order them from other than Mattel's website, I'll try to let you guys know about that. Make sure you're following us on Instagram too, because we make posts in between videos over there so you don't miss anything. And I really appreciate everybody tuning in and chilling with us today to explore these lovely Barbie Signature Looks dolls. I hope that they make more lines of these dolls. So don't get complacent. Don't get comfortable, y'all. Y'all got to keep reminding Mattel, hey, where is the Texas A&M Ken skin tone? Hey, guys, we need more males with MTM bodies. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for watching. My name's Gypsy. You're watching Broken Dolly TV, and I really hope you guys go and have yourselves a Dolly day.
But nevertheless, I say it again. The type of issues I got, we shouldn't never begin. How could you ever pretend that it was something more than it was when it wasn't? I didn't mislead or let you believe whatever you wanted to believe. I mean, look, I enjoyed all the time we agreed. Okay, I didn't think that you would kick it up.